November 26, 2022. How's it going, guys? Got another video for you. This is a video that EE Arts did, Repopulation After Reset Alien Hybridization Program Revealed. Now, I'm not affiliated with EE Arts on YouTube or any other YouTube channel. I just think they do a great job. But in this information, they brought up a lot of good information about stuff that people need to think about. And I recommend, if you guys get a chance, check this out. But I'm going to go on from there. I got a story I want to talk to you guys about. I told a long time back about personally myself, and I'm going to tell it again and talk about a little bit more, because this kind of brings some of that more about out. So hold on just a second, guys. Okay, I'm back. Now, I'm not religious in any kind of certain different way. I do believe in the light source. I do believe in good. I do believe in light in the universe out there, okay? But what I'm showing this for is because this was my mother's, okay? And I need to explain something first. I am the 9th born out of all the children that she bore. And only one, my sister, the only living one, is the only other one that made it. So she lost a lot of babies in between. And I wanted to show this real quick. Now, my sister, I wrote this down on this white piece of paper, was born on February 2nd, 1951. Groundhog Day. Yeah, she's a groundhog. But my mother, I just want to show you how many she lost here. She did carry one to full term back in 1948. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My sister that did make it, that's alive, is 8, and I'm the 9th born. And I think that makes me just a little bit more special, and especially out there in the universe too. But hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. Now what I want to talk about is what happened when they first brought me home from the hospital after I was born. My dad, he worked for a Hudson oil company, and sometimes he had to really work late. And my mother and my sister was here at this house. And it was late, and they had, I think what I understood, my mother was in the living room. She had fallen asleep. My sister was in the smaller bedroom, and I was in a bassinet in the main bedroom. Well, they heard it sound, first they said they sounded like somebody was in the kitchen, like water was running. But then they heard like footsteps walking through the house. And I think they seemed really afraid to get up and check to see what it was. So they waited for a little while, but then they finally got up and they went and checked on me. Well, when they went to the bassinet where I was at, I was wide awake, and it was just like if somebody had actually been kind of like playing with me. I was gooeying and stuff, and I had my hands moving around and stuff and everything, like something actually had come to see me. Now, I have my thoughts on this, and I really feel that I'm descendant from another species. And I believe that species is Altarian. And why I brought EE Arts up is because they talk about the Altarian, and they talk about that they've never seen any of them in a body. So hold on just a second. Let me get something here. Now we're going to fast forward to when I was about 15 years of age, because nothing else happened in between that time period. Okay. Nothing at all. So we're at 19, probably I figured this was probably about 1982. And me and my father used to go out, go swap and shop, worked on lawnmowers, dirt bikes, a little bit of everything, motorcycles, everything. I did it all. And one morning, it was on a Saturday morning. My dad asked me to get up and go out and start the truck up because we would leave sometimes around about 4:30 a.m. So he'd get me up and said, "Get out there, get the truck started." I'd go out there. So I went out there and I started the truck up. And all of a sudden, I see this just real kind of like bright light off to my left. And I thought it was probably a next door neighbor across the street had their lights on and they were getting ready to pull out or something. But it wasn't. So finally, I'm sitting here, I'm kind of messing with the radio, and I turn, I look, because the light was still there, and it's a sphere. Now, this sphere wasn't like these little spheres that they talk about in the books and everything else. This thing was about 12 to 14 inches in diameter, about the size of a globe. I mean, it was pretty good size. And it went right around in front of me. And it was right in front of the windshield. And at first, I mean, I was startled by it, definitely, but it didn't give off no heat. And it really wasn't, hurting my eyes. It was just the initial point of it being lit in the dark. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like you were looking into the sun, but it was almost that bright in a sense. It was golden. That's what it was. And it sat there in midair and orbited kind of like, and it, for about a minute, looked at me, and then it just took off and went straight up in the air. Just like kind of like that thing they did over there, kind of like over there in Israel that they show. But this shot straight up. I mean, straight up. So at that time period, I just thought, well, I mean, I didn't think it was anything that we had anyway. Definitely not. I just figured it was probably some kind of a probe, some kind of alien probe. Because I always believed in science. I always believed that anything was possible. But I never gave it thought at that time period that actually it could have been a living being in the sense, a light being. I mean, you don't, just the initial thought of this, I just figured it was some kind of alien probe of some kind. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to run around and say, oh yeah, there was a sphere in front of the vehicle. I mean, I told my parents about it and stuff. But other than that was about it. So many years passed after that. And like I told you guys, I always knew that, I mean, I always could sense things. I was always psychic, but I just kept it to myself and stuff. But in this deal where E.E.R. talks about this and the Altarians, like they say that they never come across any in a body form. But they said this one lady that they were showing, I don't know, it was showing her, this one gal, supposedly she thought that she was like a hybrid, something like 2/3 or something, and they were talking about blue-eyed or something. So I don't know about all that, but I just know about me personally. So what I think this was after all this time, and then, like I say, in the last almost 13 years here of, increasing and ascending at a higher level, I think it was some kind of relative, or maybe something that interbred even into our family that was an Altarian. Another reason I believe this is because what set me in this direction was one morning me and my son were out waiting for the school bus, and it had three like marks appear on my arm that was in the form of almost a triangle, guys. And we're looking up at the stars because it's still dark out, waiting for the school bus. And we get looking over there, and we look at, there's Altair, there's Deneb, and there's Vega. And it was like, my son said, well, that looks like it almost matches what's on your arm. I got to look at it. I thought, well, it does look like that. And that's what sent me in that direction. You kind of got to look at some of this stuff and, kind of look and see maybe where the origin, maybe where, your DNA's coming from. And then there's been several other things too. Like I say, my aura is basically golden. It's gold. And that's also troublesome to the ones that aren't the good ones out there. But I'm going to do this anyway, okay? This is what, if you look it up, it says a golden aura color meaning the color of enlightenment and divine protection. It means divine guidance, protection, wisdom, inner knowledge, spiritual mind, intuitive thinker. Then if you go into the golden, basically about the golden light itself, it's thought to be like unconditional love. It's such a high vibration that it can clean and transform almost anything. Now, E.E. Arts talks about the Altarians. They talk about, they have a very high frequency, very high frequency. And my energy, that's what it vibrates at, guys. I mean, it's that high. But I keep exploring and I keep looking. And like I say, there's a lot of people, when we talk about all this, and just like E Arts too, there's a lot of groups, a lot of bad groups out there. A lot of people, want to, pull people in, use their energy for bad things. So you want to understand that too. If you're just ascending and starting to learn about all this, you don't want to be running out and joining any groups or anything like that. It's not a good idea. Not until you get some real good, hard, information on stuff. Now, E Arts, they're great. They're trustworthy. Teal Swan's another group that, like I say, all of them cut the straight stuff. And Teal Swan just did something, I think, early today too. It was just talking about the little things that are enjoyable in life. Check hers out. I can't remember exactly how it was all phrased, but check it out too. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with any other YouTube channel, but she does a great job too, guys. And there's also a Mark. I can't pronounce his last name, but he's been around about 30 years too, and he gives out some great information about this energy. Now they are in his is like around the world too. He's got like a where they actually do give out the information and stuff and train people and stuff, like real light workers, not these ones that just say they're light workers and they're out to do other bad things. So just a little bit of information there, guys. And like I say, I really think that's why my energy is the way it is. And I think whether I just, like I say, I don't know if it's just from way back and it was hooked in my DNA, and this being knew that basically, like came to see me and knew that I was born, that I had some of its DNA. That's what I think. Now, whether it was that or depending on, if this, species can actually go into somebody else's body and then, basically make like a hybrid, maybe that's even the case too. But that just got me going. But what I was thinking about when Eard said about that, about the body and stuff, I do agree in that sense. They usually are not in that kind of form. But what I seen was, like I say, a sphere, an energy sphere of pure gold. Anyway, guys, just a little information. Keep your eyes open and stay in the light, guys. Have a good one.